9 MPs in Tonga are urging Prime Minister Huakave Liku and Foreign Minister Whekita Utoika Manu to vacate their ministerial portfolios in respect of King Tupou VI. All 9 of the MPs are noble representatives. It comes a month after King Tupou expressed his loss of confidence in the ministerial portfolios of the Prime Minister and his Foreign Minister. No reason was given for the King's decision, leaving it open to public speculation. Whina Funua spoke to our correspondent in Tonga, Kalafi Moala.
Lord Dui Vakanoa read a letter to the Prime Minister in Parliament. He read it on behalf of all the noble representatives. What did Lord Dui Vakanoa say to the Prime Minister?
The nobles in Parliament, they had a meeting, and he spoke in Parliament to kind of represent their own consensus. They feel that the Prime Minister should step out of the portfolio of being the Minister of Defense as well as the Minister of Foreign Affairs by the Utoika Manu. And instead of trying to resist the expression of opinion from His Majesty, saying that it was unconstitutional and so on. So basically, that's where the difference came. And the Prime Minister seems to stand his ground that even though the King expressed his dissatisfaction with the performance of the two ministries, it didn't mean he was calling for resignation. So that's what happened yesterday. There was the noble expressed an opinion that they should step down. The Prime Minister is basically standing his ground that it would be unconstitutional.
Why they didn't give a reason when the Privy Council that letter? They didn't actually give a reason for.
No.
What's your speculation, or what's the speculation out there as to the reason why the King has lost confidence?
Let's just take the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has traditionally been a ministry in which the King plays a major role in. I give you for example, back during the reign of King Taufa'ahautu'u IV, he was the one that traveled to China and opened the door of diplomatic relations with China. Tonga, therefore, in those days, let go of relations with Taiwan. The King, in the same way, traveled to Saudi Arabia, and we had diplomatic relations with Saudi Arabia. So traditionally, the monarch, as head of state, have been involved quite a bit in opening up relations with other nations. The other thing, too, in terms of defense, the army is called His Majesty's Army. In other words, he has traditionally been the one heading up the army, or the military arm of the defense force. And there was a good reason for that, because they didn't want the defense force to under political power, so that when a government comes into place, they could be in charge of the army to do something political instead of the defense of the country. So in past years, that has been the role of the monarch in those two ministries. And I guess that what's happened is that the Prime Minister, the head of government, wants those two ministries to be taken off from the hands of the active execution by the head of state to the government, so that the foreign affairs activities are run by the government, the defense and so on are under the jurisdiction of the government. And that's where the standoff came. This Prime Minister wants that to return. The other thing, too, that I have found out is that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, they had some staff situation in which she dismissed one of the two top staffs, and there was complaint about her dismissal of those two staff. So that must have come to His Majesty, and so there has been an unhappiness, so-called, of activities and things going on in foreign affairs.
It looks like he's losing a lot of support in Parliament because he had that vote of no confidence, and now he has all the nobles against him. So he seems to be in a dangerous position.
Yes.
What if he doesn't yield to what the nobles have advised him? What's the danger he faces?
Yes, you're correct. You know, whenever a situation like this come up, the nobles, of course, will always take the side of the monarch. The very existence of the nobles is according to the will of the monarch. So in Parliament, they will always be out of their way to support whatever comes out of the palace office. On the other hand, what I have seen this Prime Minister doing is really trying to pull things back so that instead of the king being a supreme ruler, that our constitution, what is on the constitution, and it's a reformed constitution, of course, will become the supreme rule in which we follow. And so I think he's trying to push the edge there in that regard. But as you know, as you said rightly, he has had a vote of no confidence in which he won, and he needs the support from the nobles. So it's going to be an interesting situation in the next couple of weeks or so here in Tonga.